And I just feel, oh no. That is literally me choking on my own spit. Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another remake versus original. I'm not gonna bother talking about the plot of this because if you've seen the original, then you know the plot of the remake because it's exactly the same, essentially. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was not marketed as a remake, correct? Like, they made it clear that this was not going to be a remake because it definitely was. It's like they tried to add a few things in that spoke more to the modern audience, but it just didn't work. And so you will remember Poltergeist 1982, directed by Tobe Hooper of Chainsaw fame, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that little movie. And we are following the Freeling family as their daughter Carol Ann is kidnapped essentially by angry spirits that their housing development is built on top of the graves. Did that make any sense? You guys know the plot. Basically, the main differences I saw between the original and the remake was not like the spirits per se, because in both movies, you know, it's found out that their house used to be built, or the land that their house is built on used to be a cemetery, and then you find out later that they just moved the headstones. They didn't actually move the bodies. The bodies are still underneath the house, blah, blah, blah. But the main difference is in the remake, it was just a bunch of angry spirits who wanted to use Carol Ann, who's now Maddie in the remake, wanted to use her to help them move to the light and move on. In the original, of course, there's all those spirits that the house is built on top of, but there's one main malevolent entity that really wants to harm the family. That was one difference. A lot of times, like, the differences, I guess I have to think about like what they really mean. That's what those extended reviews are for me to collect my thoughts. So I don't really know what that means, that it's like one evil spirit. In the original, we have one boogeyman, whereas in the remake it's multiple, it's a bunch, it's a group, it's a horde. One thing that I will admit that I did like in the remake is that they added the hands pressing up against the TV glass from seemingly within the TV. I did really like that touch, especially like when Maddie, our Carol Ann, puts her hand up against the glass and then one just like comes up over hers. I really liked that. One thing that I feel like they did add to the remake that kind of was trying to bring it into 2015 was the fact that the Freelings, now the Bowens in the remake, the dad had been laid off and the mom is not employed really. She's a writer, but she's not employed anywhere. So they make the move, like they move there because, you know, they can't afford like a really nice house or anything like that. So I feel like that kind of brought it into 2015 a little bit. That made it more relatable, I guess, because like the problems with the economy and blah, blah, blah. I feel like that was an attempt to modernize it a little bit. But that's like the only purpose it served, was to explain how they get to the house, I guess. But in Poltergeist, like in the original Poltergeist, they didn't even have to explain it. Like it was just their house. Like, and they started digging up the earth, so that kind of activated the spirits a little bit. They explain it in both movies. Poltergeist activity can start and stop just like that. Like, it's not always going to be happening in that house. Like, it can stop anytime it wants. So I feel like it wasn't necessary, but it was an attempt to modernize it, in my opinion. Similarities. Like I said, the remake was just a carbon copy of the original. There was the same gags, same staticky TV, same they're here little bit, same, just the same gags. Things being sucked into the closet, the spoon bent, sort of like the cutlery being bent. Basically, the remake was just, to me, it was just like an homage to the original. They just copied the same thing. Another thing I did like, so two things total I did like. I liked the hands on the screen, and I liked the little bit about this house is clean, because they almost made it jokey, I guess, in the remake. Because, you know, not towards the end of the movie, but like the false end of the original Poltergeist, our expert paranormal person, Zelda Rubinstein, once like the whole mess is over, the cameraman turns the camera on her and she's like, this house is clean. And they kind of make it jokey in the remake, where we have like a TV personality. Jared Harris plays a TV personality, kind of like Ghost Hunters almost. And his like little tagline, I guess, is like, this house is clean. And they make it jokey a little bit. So I did like that. It was a nice little, I thought it was a little funny, which was cool. Those were my thoughts on the new Poltergeist movie in comparison to the original. I think it's safe to say that if I had to choose between the two, I would pick the original. Please leave a comment down below what you thought of the new Poltergeist movie if you've seen it. And if you would have to pick, which one would you pick? 1982 or 2015? I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more of my face and hear more of my voice. And until next time, stay strange. Bye.